The PlayStation 5 has been out for a few weeks now, and overall reception's been pretty warm. The tech is good, and Sony is they're being very optimistic about the console's future, but there's some issues with the new system, and today we're going to be diving into that very topic. Welcome to Chaos Gaming, everybody. These are going to be the worst things about the PlayStation 5 right now. If you've been lucky enough to acquire one, let me know if you have run into any of these obstacles, and if you haven't been lucky enough, maybe look at these before you actually buy. Now, I'm sure they're going to address and fix all these, but we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see as they cross them off the list. You let me know in the comments. Are you enjoying your PS5? Or did you get an Xbox? Or are you not getting either of them? Drop a like, and here we go. We're going to start off with storage. Now, the PS5 launched with less than 1 terabyte of available space for your games, and we all know it's 2020. That's not enough space. To make matters worse, Sony has remained pretty silent on how storage expansion is actually going to work in the future. Now, Sony bizarrely confirmed a few weeks ago that the PS5 will not support SSD expansions, but it will support other external hard drives. This is a serious negative of the system because the game's getting bigger and bigger by the year, especially if you're downloading those 4K updates. You can only have a handful of games installed on your PlayStation 5 at any given time. Do you guys remember back when you could just play a game right off the disc? You didn't have to install anything? Well, those were the days, and those are gone. Now, hopefully, Sony releases some cheap external hard drives soon because Microsoft already made this mistake on the Xbox Series X. However, Microsoft's external drives are up to $200 each. Sony could get a leg up on the competition if they release a line of cheaper hard drives, but we're just going to have to wait and see. We should have these answers, and we don't. Next up is the lineup. Now, don't get me wrong. The PlayStation 5 has some really great games in its lineup already, but most of them are multi-platform. In terms of true exclusives, there's only a handful. Most of the PS5's games are available on the PS4. They're on the Xbox. They're on the PC. So when are the big PS5 exclusives coming? Well, I don't know. Sony has remained very quiet about when the heavy-hitting PS5 exclusives are coming, and it's really taking away from getting a system. Why would I buy a PS5 right now when the big exclusives aren't even out yet? Why not just stick with the PS4 or use that money to upgrade my PC? The launch lineup of the new console is important, and both Sony and Microsoft I don't think they really brought their A game this time. I really don't. The Demon's Souls remake is really the only big PS5 exclusive right now, and a lot of people are probably just going to wait on that one. And it's a remake. Come on. Next up is backwards compatibility. Now, the PS5 is mostly backwards compatible with the PS4, but it has little to no support for the PS1, 2, or 3. If the game isn't already on the PlayStation Digital Store, you cannot play it on your PS5. Now, this is one area where Microsoft really has Sony beat all the way across the board in terms of value for your console. The Xbox Series X is completely backwards compatible with the Xbox One, and it has a massive library of 360 and OG Xbox games that you can play. So in the grand scheme of things, there's only a handful of Xbox games that you can't play on your Series X. Meanwhile, Sony still remains hesitant or resistant to backwards compatibility, and I don't understand it. Why wouldn't you want to preserve all those amazing PS1 and PS2 games for future generations to get to enjoy? It's your history, it's your legacy. Maybe it's totally possible this feature gets added in the future, like how Microsoft did to the Xbox One. But as it stands right now, the PS5 is not a good buy if you want to play games from your childhood. And I know this is a feature that not everybody cares about, but a lot of people do. A lot of people love these games, and it's still very obvious as a feature that the PS5 dropped the ball. Supply, demand. I mean, how many of you actually got your hands on a PS5? Due to the console launching in the middle of a pandemic and also it being an extremely hyped up piece of tech, the supply for the PS5 has been limited to say the least. A lot of people found themselves in the frustrating situation of having one in their digital cart, but then it got swiped out during checkout. Or maybe you got lucky at Walmart and you got one and then they emailed you a week later and said they lost it or it didn't exist. This kind of stuff normally doesn't happen, but because the world is in a weird place right now, supply is very limited. Eventually, we're all going to be able to get our hands on a new system, but you have to wonder sometimes, why did they launch the console now if they didn't have enough units? Why not just wait until they had more in the bank so the launch could go smoother? And then you have to battle the bots. Good luck getting in line on your online shopping cart and beating out a bot that is scripted to buy 50 PlayStations in a matter of 5 seconds. It's It's not consumer friendly, and the days of enjoying the chase of getting a new console, waiting in line and all that, those days are gone. Now it's just pure frustration. And the number one thing, paid online. Now this was kind of wishful thinking, but I think most of us were thinking about it. You guys remember back in the PS3 days, Sony let you play games online for free. Does anybody remember that? You didn't need a PS Plus membership to play Call of Duty multiplayer, and that all changed with the PS4. But a lot of us were kind of hoping with our fingers crossed we go back to the good old days with the PS5. Unfortunately, no, you're not. You're still going to need that PS Plus membership in order to play your games online, which is kind of odd because Sony really doesn't seem to care that much about online multiplayer anymore. Back during the PS3 and the PS4 days, they were big into online multiplayer. But about halfway through the PS4's lifespan, they started shifting their focus to single-player experiences. Now, I mean, really, what multiplayer games do you play on your PS4 and PS5? It's nice that you don't need PS Plus to play free multiplayer games, but if you want to play something like Call of Duty, you're going to have to cough up that subscription. I mean, with Xbox Live, it at least makes sense because Xbox is much more focused on online multiplayer with games like Halo, Gears of War, but it's a little odd that Sony is still requiring PS Plus when they've largely walked away from multiplayer exclusives. Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe they've got some new big multiplayer games up their sleeve in the lab that they're working on and for the PS5, but as of right now, PS Plus just really doesn't seem to be worth it. And it's kind of lame that in 2020, consoles are requiring you to pay extra to play a lot of games online when you already shelled out an enormous amount of your money to get the console. If you were able to even get the console. I mean, it's frustrating to be a gamer right now. It's very, very complicated and very convoluted. So there you go. Has the PS5 failed us? In a sense, and in another sense, it's an amazing piece of hardware. There's lots of people out there that are truly enjoying it. And the gameplay on some of these, I mean, Miles Morales Spider-Man, it's the best looking gameplay quality you could ever ask for. I mean, we are in the realm of things looking almost real. It's cool, but there are a lot of things that they need to fix, a lot of things they could have fixed, and a lot of times where they need to be a little more sensitive toward the gamers when it comes to getting their product. I know, limited supply creates hype and demand, I get that, and trust me, they know what they're doing, but still, it's not the best practice if you ask me. And there you have it. I hope you guys have a great day. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you soon.